A Ryanair flight from Greece to Lithuania finally lands at Vilnius airport after being diverted to Belarus for several hours. Arriving passengers said they'd been given no information about the reason for the abrupt diversion to Minsk. Belarus said it was due to a bomb scare, but activists say it was done to arrest a journalist on board.
They took the journalist, out from the plane, and then they started disembarking the passengers.
He said nothing. He just turned to people and said he was facing the death penalty.
Opposition blogger Raman Pratasevich was taken away by police. His girlfriend and 4 others did not reboard the plane. Lithuania's president has called the incident a state-sponsored act of terror.
We need a very thorough investigation by the International Civil Aviation Organization into how an act of state terrorism could be committed in broad daylight.
The head of the Belarus military said the aircraft had been guided to safety by one of its fighter jets after a bomb threat was received while the Ryanair plane was over Belarusian territory, but no explosives were found. The incident has sparked worldwide outrage, as has a brutal crackdown on protesters by President Alexander Lukashenko following disputed elections last August. Hermione G, Euronews.
The exiled Belarusian opposition leader Svetlana Tikhanovskaya said the international community must take decisive action.
From now on, not one person in the world who flies over Belarus is guaranteed their basic safety, because today Lukashenko single-handedly created an international scandal and used his military aviation against peaceful Belarusian and European civilians with the goal of punishing a single individual. From now on, no one is safe. Anyone can be in the place of Raman Pratasevich.
Well, EU leaders are set to meet later to discuss their response. Let's discuss this further with our reporter in Brussels, Jack Parrick. Jack, the EU leaders have been talking tough so far regarding this incident, but concretely, what can they do?
Hi, Tokes. Well, we know that the European Council President has put sanctions on the table for discussions of the 27 EU leaders who are going to be coming here to Brussels, the meetings starting a bit later on today. Now, already 59 Belarusian officials, including President Alexander Lukashenko himself, are sanctioned with travel bans and asset freezes under the European Union's sanctions programme for their roles in the crackdown against protesters after that disputed August election, the presidential election that Svetlana Tikhanovskaya says that she actually should have won against Lukashenko. But what they're also going to be looking at is other issues, probably a bit more practical issues and a bit more immediate, which could be things like shutting the European Union's airspace to Belarusian civil aviation companies, specifically Belavia. That's something that the Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo has tweeted out in favour of. The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that the plane had been hijacked and that those responsible must be held accountable and there must be consequences for them. The question is, will the finger of the European Union's leaders be pointed directly at Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko himself? Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, on the way into this meeting earlier on today, has said that they believe that it was the most senior officials in Belarus who were responsible for this. We've also heard from the EU's foreign policy chief, Joseph Borrell, demanding the release of Raman Pratasevich, this journalist that was taken off the plane. That is their immediate concern. We know, and a lot of NGOs and human rights organisations are very concerned about what is happening to this man. He himself, it's been reported widely, said that he thought he would face the death penalty. So they want immediately for him to be removed. Now, also elsewhere, there is a NATO element to this. The NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg has called this a serious and dangerous incident that needs immediate investigation. Obviously, this plane was escorted into Minsk by a Belarusian fighter jet. All eyes will be on what the leaders do during this summit. It's a two-day summit. It runs for 2 days. But there is also some concern about being able to get unanimity on this issue. Just last week, the Hungarians, during a foreign ministers meeting, didn't sign up to the document that the rest of the 26 EU member states signed up to on Israel-Palestine. And we know that they might be unwilling. Viktor Orban, the Hungarian Prime Minister, might not be as willing to take such a hard, strong line as many of the other EU leaders would like to take at this summit.